Hello, my name is Jess from Studio Ballet Evolution. I thought it would be fun to show you today how I recycle my pointe shoes. So please be careful if you do try this at home. I can't be responsible if you hurt yourself because you do have to take out nails and that you need a hammer. So I'm going to show you. You don't have to do it, but it is really neat how you can transform your pointe shoes and use them as soft shoes. So this is something when I was at the Vaganov Academy. I was there from 96 to 98, and we didn't have like a vinyl floor, it was just the wood. So we always wore our pointe shoes that were turned into soft shoes. So the thing about that is you really make your feet strong because they do have to work a lot harder in the converted pointe shoe than in a canvas shoe. So it's a really great way to strengthen your feet, and also it's free shoes, right? You have them already, you're not using them, you could recycle them. So I already did one, at least part of it. So part one of the process. So as you can see, there is no shank anymore. I pulled it out. So that you do need to have access to a hammer, and you need a little bit of arm strength, right, to do it. So one down, one to go. So I'm going to show you how we do it. And as you can see, this is kind of scratchy. It's not the best. So what we would do, hopefully this time it'll work, is you pull off the suede part, right? You could probably use moleskin too, that you can buy at the pharmacy if you get a big enough piece. And you would just glue that on top so that you don't have like that rubbing on your foot, because it doesn't feel very good. So I'm going to go ahead. I started to do this one. So you really want to squish it, get it all as soft as you can. You need to pop it out. So that can take a little bit of time. If it takes me too long, I'll just pause it, and then once I get it going, I will start, but I think I'm getting somewhere. So we used to do this at night after a long day, and you'd be there taking your pointe shoes and converting them into soft shoes. So it was a constant process because of the wood floors. They would get destroyed pretty quickly, but we would go through shoes quite a lot, so it wasn't so bad. The nice thing too is that we had access to shoes that were like $5. So we could go to the Mariinsky Theater, and there was a big bin, and we would just kind of go through it and pick the shoes. I don't even remember if there was a brand name or anything. It was just, we would get our shoes there, we would use them, and then when they were up, we would just use them as our soft shoes. So this one, for some reason, of course, the one I'm not filming, when I wasn't filming, was working really well. This one's taking a little bit of time. So I might actually put this on pause, get it going, and then I will start again. So it is a labor of love. It does take time, but if ever you're curious, I will show you how it's done. Okay, so it took me about 2 or 3 minutes, so I'm glad I didn't make you guys wait. You just have to get it to go under it. So that's what I was having trouble here. It was like really, really stuck, the glue. So I was having trouble getting the hammer under it. So basically you just need to pry it up. Then you've got some nails. So that's where you want to be really careful about how you go about this. That's why I don't recommend you doing this at home. But I just thought it might be interesting for you to see it. So I've got a nail here that needs to come out. Go. So like I said, this is a labor of love. It does take time to get it out, but usually once you get it started, it's not so bad. Once again, I'm going to pause this because it's taking longer than I expected, and I'll show you the final product. So I'm just getting the last part. And sometimes it helps if you like twist it side to side And there we go. That one was not easy, and that's why I say be careful. I did nick myself with the hammer here. So like I said, I don't really recommend doing this at home, but I just thought I would show you. So the second phase is to soak them overnight. So I'm going to soak them overnight, and then I'll show you the last part of what we do to make them pointe shoes into soft shoes. So here are the pointe shoes soaking. I'll soak them overnight. You can see our cat Perry is enjoying the pointe shoes and the new experience. He's just over a year old, so he's still a kitten, and this is a new thing for him. So I'll let them soak for overnight, and then I'll show you the next part of the process. Hello everyone, I am back day 2. So I soaked it overnight. You don't have to. You could probably soak them for like 2 hours, but you could see how flat, right? I actually already did this shoe, so you can see how much like a soft shoe it looks. This one, so now that it's all soaking wet, so you want it to be like damp or wet when you actually do this. This one you can see I turned it inside out. It still has all the paper mache and there's a bit of canvas in there. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it out and show you all the stuff that's inside a pointe shoe. So you want to just cut into it. Now you might want to be careful how you cut it because you might want to sew it back up after. So a nice cleanish line is good. And then from there, I'm going to take out everything. So I don't know if you can see, but there's a whole bunch of stuff in here. So I've got canvas. This looks like canvas to me, right? Pieces of this. It's amazing to think that this is all that's in your pointe shoe, right? These ones are blocks that I'm using. You can use any kind of pointe shoe. I use whatever I happen to be wearing. So there's a lot of this canvas meshy stuff inside there. And then there's also paper mache. I can see the actual, right there. It's pretty neat when you think about it. It's in here. And you just keep pulling it all out. So you want to make sure you get out all the, there's some fabric in here as well. So I want to make sure I get all of that out. More paper mache. So it's a little bit messy doing this. It's a little bit sticky even. If anyone's ever made paper mache stuff, they'll know. And get more of this out. I'm ripping it, but probably better to cut it. There we go. So basically, all I have left is the satin and the little fabric. So like I said, I would recommend a little bit more paper mache in there. So you want to make sure you get it all out. Got good. Oh, a little bit more. You can see there's not actually that much in the shoe, is there? It's kind of interesting. So you can always, if ever you did do it at home, you just sew that up so that when you're dancing, your toes aren't getting caught in it. And then you just turn it inside out. And then you just let them dry and they are ready to go. And you can keep the ribbons on. I kind of like the ribbons because it makes you work once again your feet a little bit more, but you don't have to. So there you go. We're just going to let them dry and then I'll show you what they look like when they're done. Hello everyone. So I have the final product here. So as you can see, it just looks like a satin slipper. So I already put one on. I thought I would show you once again how I tie my shoes. I tie them a bit differently. I don't know where I learned how to do that. One of my teachers taught me. So you don't have to keep the ribbons if you don't want to, but I do find it just, you can feel like that pushing against them and it makes you feel more like you're in pointe shoes. So it's not a bad thing to keep the ribbons. It makes you work your feet a little bit more, I find, and to just be more aware of your feet. So what I did is I took the first one, which is shorter, and I wrapped it around. I tuck it in inside like this, and then I go around twice with the other one. And what I really like is you have that little space right behind your ankle bone. So it just fits in nicely and it doesn't bother your Achilles or anything. And also it looks really neat. It doesn't look messy. And there you go. You have a shoe you can wear for class or whatever. So I personally am gonna wear it when I do my own training, when I'm just wanting to work a little bit harder my feet. You don't have to wear them all the time, but it's a free shoe, right? So why not take advantage of that and use them? And like I said, it really will strengthen the feet if you ever decide to do it. I hope you enjoyed this, and I look forward to our next video.